Picture this: a 7-foot redhead with a mop of untamed hair, bounding across the court like a gazelle on stilts. That, my friends, is Bill Walton in a nutshell. He wasn't just a basketball player, he was a force of nature, a whirlwind of passion and intensity wrapped in tie-dye and a Grateful Dead tee. He was a walking paradox, a gentle giant with a fierce competitive spirit, a hippie who just happened to be one of the most dominant centers in NBA history. Walton's career, much like the man himself, was anything but ordinary. He was a walking contradiction, a man who embraced both the zen-like calm of meditation and the chaotic energy of a Grateful Dead concert. And on the court? Well, that's where the real magic happened. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was conducting a symphony of passes, rebounds, and blocked shots, all while sporting that trademark grin that could disarm even the most hardened opponent. But there was more to Walton than just his on-court exploits. He was a man of many interests, a Renaissance man in a world of specialists. He loved music, literature, and of course the Grateful Dead. He was a walking encyclopedia of useless trivia, a man who could talk your ear off about the history of the bicycle or the migratory patterns of the Canadian goose. In short, Bill Walton was, and continues to be, a national treasure. He's a reminder that life is meant to be lived to the fullest, with passion, purpose, and a healthy dose of humor. So, sit back, relax, and join us as we celebrate the one and only Big Red, a true original in a world full of imitations. Let's talk basketball, folks. And when it comes to Bill Walton, we're talking about a legacy etched in hardwood and net. This wasn't just a guy who played basketball, he revolutionized the center position. He was a passing big man before it was cool, a master of the no-look dish and the outlet pass that would make Magic Johnson proud. His journey began at UCLA, where he became the cornerstone of John Wooden's legendary dynasty. We're talking about back-to-back NCAA championships, an 88-game winning streak, and enough accolades to fill a trophy cabinet the size of a small apartment. Walton wasn't just winning games, he was dominating them, leading the Bruins to 2 of the most lopsided championship victories in NCAA history. But Walton's brilliance wasn't confined to the college ranks. He was drafted first overall by the Portland Trail Blazers in 1974, and it didn't take long for him to make his mark on the league. He led the Blazers to an improbable NBA championship in 1977, earning Finals MVP honors along the way. He was a 3-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time All-NBA first-team selection, and in 1978, he was named the league's most valuable player. Injuries, those pesky little things, may have cut his career short, but Walton's impact on the game was undeniable. He proved that big men could be more than just lumbering giants. They could be facilitators, playmakers, and the heart and soul of a championship team. Now let's get down to some classic Walton moments, the kind of stories that make you laugh, shake your head, and say, only Bill Walton could pull that off. Like the time he famously scored 44 points in a game against the Memphis Sounds, a performance so dominant that even his opponents were left in awe. Or the time he led the Blazers to a come-from-behind victory in Game 6 of the 1977 NBA Finals, willing himself and his team to a championship despite playing on a broken foot. But it wasn't just the highlight reel plays that made Walton special, it was his infectious enthusiasm, his love for the game that was evident in every possession. He celebrated every basket, every rebound, every blocked shot as if it were the game winner. He played with a joy and abandon that was contagious, inspiring his teammates and captivating fans. And then there were the quotes, the legendary Bill Walton-isms that could leave you in stitches. Like the time he famously said, "I learned a lot from my parents. My father taught me how to live. My mother taught me how to pack a suitcase." Or when he described his playing style as, "I'm like a fine wine. I get better with age. Unfortunately, I'm playing against milk." Walton wasn't just a basketball player, he was an entertainer, a showman who understood that sports were meant to be fun. He brought a sense of joy and whimsy to the court that was impossible to ignore. Now, while Walton's on-court antics were legendary, his impact extended far beyond the hardwood. This was a man who marched to the beat of his own drum, a free spirit who embraced the counterculture movement of the 1960s and 70s. He was a vocal advocate for peace, love, and understanding, using his platform to speak out against war, injustice, and inequality. He was a champion of the environment, a passionate cyclist who believed in the power of alternative transportation. He was a devoted family man, a loving husband and father who cherished his time with his loved ones. And he was a tireless advocate for those less fortunate, using his fame and influence to support charitable causes close to his heart. Walton's life was a testament to the idea that one person can make a difference. He used his voice to speak truth to power, to challenge the status quo, and to inspire others to live more meaningful lives. He was a walking, talking reminder that there's more to life than just money, fame, and material possessions. Section 11. There's no I in team, but there's one in Bill Walton, a tongue-in-cheek tribute. So there you have it, folks. The story of Bill Walton, a man who was larger than life in every sense of the word. He was a walking, talking paradox, a gentle giant with a competitive fire that burned hotter than 1,000 suns. He was a hippie who just happened to be one of the most dominant basketball players of all time. And while we may never fully understand the mind of Bill Walton, one thing's for sure, the world is a much more interesting place with him in it. So let's raise a glass, of organic carrot juice of course, to the big redhead, a true original in a world full of imitations. Cheers to you, Bill. Thanks for the memories, the laughs, and the inspiration. And remember, as you once said, there's no I in team, but there's one in Bill Walton.